Hey guys, Alchemist here. So welcome back to another trade recap video. We are going to be going over a trade which was in the London session of Monday of this week that's just gone by. And we're just going to be analyzing how we could have got involved, starting off, of course, with a blank weekly chart all the way down to the 1 minute. Now as well, do make sure that you stick around to the end of the video where I will be announcing a new membership which will be available to purchase from tonight on the website, which will be a Discord only service, but more about that to come towards the end of the video. So now let's get straight into it. So on the weekly time frame, if you have watched any of my previous videos, you'll know the only objectives we have are to identify the weekly supply and demand levels that we're currently trading within. This here is our weekly supply, and as of this date, we hadn't yet closed above with a body. So there was still a day and 17 hours left before this candle was to close. And when we jump down on the daily time frame, we'll see that we didn't actually have a body close above. So this is still the controlling supply for now. We have wicked above, but we failed to close with a body above. So on the weekly, that's all that we need to do. On the daily, as just explained, this here is not yet a daily boss, because this candle has not yet closed with its body above. The trade is in the in the London session. So New York has yet to occur, and the whole day hasn't gone through its cycle to close that candle. So it's not yet our daily boss. It's still going to be our daily high for now. That's the daily high. The most recent daily boss would be this one here. And the daily low is the low that's been swept so many times, but price has actually failed to close below it. There's our daily low. So that's all that we need to do on the daily. We can go down to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, our daily high is what our most recent 4 hour boss was, because in this case, we do actually have a body close above. So we'll make this a little bit neater, and we'll just actually rename this one to be 4H boss plus daily high. Perfect. And then the lowest point below there is going to be our 4 hour low. So it's this one here. That's our 4 hour low. And with our 4 hour high, we need to wait to see a bearish pullback. So if this was going to be the high, we need to see a bearish pullback of at least 90 pips to confirm that 4 hour high. So until we do get that bearish pullback of 90 pips, we don't yet know where our 4 hour high is, but we can just drop our premium and discount just to be aware of where discount will be most likely. We don't know that this is going to be where the price will stop to return. So we can just give it a little bit more breathing room. Okay. And then within this piece of price action, let's identify some valid zones. So we have this one here. So if we look to the left, this hasn't interacted with anything, but it will be a demand chain. So this here is a demand, which has interacted with this demand, which has interacted with this demand, or you can even just take this wick. Didn't quite hit the wick. We can take the body because we can see here the next candle came down and mitigated that, and then that's tapped into that one there. We can see that this demand's actually swept a lot of liquidity below here. And then there are just 3 or 4 demand zones as well here, which has caused this whole demand chain. But currently price is all the way up here. This is more than enough breathing room for us. This is over 200 pips. And the trade we're looking to take is all the way from up here. But it is good to know that we do have these demand zones throughout here as well. But these are the sort of the most significant ones at the moment. And then we have this as a supply, which therefore leads to us having this here as a flip zone. All right, so this one here is a supply, which has actually mitigated the extreme of this one here. Cool. And then we've flipped this supply and we've broken bullish in terms of our 4 hour above. So our daily here is bullish, and our 4 hour is also bullish. Now let's have a look at our 15 minute. So on the 15 minute, we had this point here as our 15 minute high after we had a bearish pullback greater than 22 pips, because this was the previous breakup structure. Then this here solidified our 15 minute high. Then once this closed with 2 body closes above, this became our 15 minute boss, meaning the lowest point below there is going to be our 15 minute low, which is all the way down here. And for our 15 minute high, we need to see a bearish pullback of at least 22 pips. So until we actually have that bearish pullback of 22 pips, there are no trades to be taken, and everyone from the course is aware of that. And here we have it. So that's going to be 33 pips. Therefore, we now have our 15 minute high. And so our 15-minute range is from this low here all the way up to this high here. So now let's refine this piece of price action here. So we can see this here was that 4-hour supply. When we've come into that, we can see we've got this here right before it failed. So we can take this with this wick here. Okay. We can say that this here is a demand which flipped this supply. We can refine this to sort of these sell before the buy. We can see a lot of momentum entered within these bullish candles here. We have this one here, which is swept liquidity, right? Tagged into there. And we can see that this zone here actually has inducement built up above it as well. Cool. In terms of supply, we have the extreme. And if we look at this piece of price action here and we just zoom in a little bit, we can see that we've actually had a 15-minute bearish change of character. So this candle here, this is the mother candle. This next candle trades lower, then we take the high. So we have a chock. Sorry, wrong one. And we do need to see a body close personally as per the strategy I've created to have the change of character confirmed. So this here is that change of character. We have this as well, sort of as a demand zone here, which you can see price is now tagged into. You can see this here as well, which is mitigated there. Perfect. We do have this zone all the way down here as well. But again, this is a very far away distance from where we're looking to take a trade. But it is important to make sure that we have all of our POIs set up and good to go. So I will show you as well in the Discord at the end of this video when I do show you the new membership that I did have this in the outlook and said that shorts would be valid from this supply here. So now let's just play a couple of candles forward to see when price taps into that 15-minute supply. So there we go. We've got the tap there. So this is the first tap into this zone. We have this, of course, as a demand. Therefore, we have this here as a flip. And what we can see here is this whole zone has actually been swept. And now that that's been swept, we can also now wait to see a 1-minute change of character, which will be from here to here if we do break below. Now we've broken above again, so then we'd need to move our change of character line to be from there to here. So this black candle below. We've got a few candles forming, and then this next candle here has actually swept all the liquidity above these highs. And if we look at this as well, it's mitigating this large wick to the left. And now what we'd need to see for the change of character down would be a body close below this candle here. So this one here wicks above, and this one closes. Perfect. So now we've had a bearish change of character on the 1 minute. After sweeping sufficient liquidity, we've tapped into the extreme of the 15-minute high, and we're looking to take a short into this demand zone below. So in terms of entries, we can look at this wick that's swept, and we can place an entry at 25% of this zone. Okay, so we want to be covering this high by 0.3. So the high here is 393, so we want to go 396. And then we want to be pushing this to 25%. So 2.6 pips, very, very close to 2.5. It's worth making sure that that's at 25%, even if it's 0.1 of a pip more. In terms of targets, of course, we'd have partials at 4R, and then we'd sort of have our target down here within this 15-minute range. With this 15-minute range, let's just identify it, and let's see if we can refine it a little bit more. So looking at this here, we've got this as a supply because we've created this lower low. We therefore have this candle here as the flip. Cool. We do have this candle above as well, but that's been mitigated already. So I'm happy to be placing my target to this zone here. So my TP would be there at 30 pips. So let's see how this one goes. Not yet tagged in. Now we're tagged in. And we're tagged out. Okay, so within 2 minutes, this trade, or 3 minutes, this trade is out, but this is a very valid loss. Okay, I have no issues with this as a loss at all. It was very valid to be placing the limit here instead of all the way to covering this extreme, because we did sweep out liquidity. In theory, that zone should have been protected. So let's now see if there's an additional opportunity to get involved again. So with this new wick here, what we've actually done is we've swept all the way above this. And when we've done that, we can now see that we've formed a more significant chock. So if we were to take this as the liquidity grab, lowest point below here would be our chock down. Okay. Most recent sort of demand range is this one here. We'll minimize this, just push it up a little bit just so it's not taking up too much of our chart. And now let's have a look as to what occurs when we interact. Well, now we've come down into this demand, we've interacted and we've left this inside bar, but that's not of any importance until we at least chock below here with a body close. Perfect. So now we have had that change of character below. We have this last point of interaction with demand, which has left this inside bar. And so with 2 bullets left, as that's how I run my risk management, I would be placing one here. And I would be placing my last entry at the extreme, both of which would be at 25%. So with this one here, we'd be taking it at 25%. Looking at this, the high of this candle is 356, so we want to push this down to 359, which is there. 2.5 pips is pretty much at the entry, and I'm happy with that. We could, of course, refine it down to here and have a 2.1 pip or even a 2 pip stop loss, but I'm not greedy. My whole target is 5R per week, which is extremely, extremely easy to achieve. But to be able to do that consistently will be life-changing for you. So I just set my targets very realistically, and then I would have my partial at 4R. Okay. And then I would have the rest of my trade running to this low. So let's see if we do get tagged into this one. Not quite yet. We've now made a new lower low, lower than this low. So we do actually have this as inducement above the zone, which is perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we're tagged in. Pretty much spot on at 25% of the zone. And so this is still the place we'd need to see tagged, so our partial would be taken. And so that's achieved quite quickly. So we'd be risk-free on this trade within 7 minutes. And then the remainder of our trade, we could be taking this to be 65%. So if you are a member of the course, you'll know that this here would be 65% at the next demand zone. And then there would be a runner being held because of where we're situated in terms of order flow and structure. So we could do 65% here, which was at 10.56. So this would be 65% at 10.56. And then the next sort of demand that makes sense, if we look at this here, we can see that we have this zone that swept liquidity, and then this one here is also mitigated that zone. So I'm not sure if we do make it all the way down here, but we could be holding a runner just a little while longer. It would only be 10% that would be left on the table. We wouldn't be leaving a lot of volume on the table there. So let's now see how this trade runs. So after being risk off within 7 minutes, and again, this was at 8:25. So this is 1 hour after London opens on Monday. Just press play. Perfect. So there we go. We are tagged here, which is 10.56R, 65% of our trade being taken off within an hour and 25 minutes. And let's just go up to the 15-minute now. Let's just see the remainder of our trade. We said we'd be holding it to here. Not 100% sure if this one does get tagged or not. No, so the rest of this trade would come back out and take us out at break even, which is completely fine. So after we would have taken this one here, the remaining 10% would be moved to break even. So if we go back down to the 1 minute now, just minimize this to where our TP was hit. Okay, and the remaining 10% would come back out at break even. Make this a little bit neater. I'll quickly get a calculator out. So 65% of that, didn't really need a calculator for that, 6.864 plus 1R, which is 7.864. Okay, so this one here is going to be 7.864R in the span of 1 hour and 25 minutes. And then we do have a -1 from this entry that we did take as a loss. So in total, it would be 6.86R in 1 day as well. Again, our whole target is 5R per week. 5R per week with 0.5% risk per trade means 2.5% per week, which is 10% a month, meaning you can pass any funded challenge out there and continue to grow and scale your capital from multiple different prop funds. So again, this, figuratively speaking, if you had a $100,000 account and you did use 1% risk, just for ease of mathematics, that would be $7,864 achieved in 1 hour. And this is something that repeats itself over and over and over again. If you go through my YouTube videos, you'll see this exact model playing out. I have very, very specific rules of engagement, and if they're not met, we don't enter. When they are, we do. And this will just happen day in and day out. So now that you've watched this, let's now show you the Discord that's coming from tonight, if you did want to get involved with that as well. Okay, so thank you for making it this far. I just want to show you the Discord that's going to be available from tonight, which is the Alchemist trading floor. So this is for people who already are trading and just want to have a little bit more confidence in terms of having outlooks completed for them, having end of day markups to see the potential opportunities which were missed, having a Q&A session which will be live, 1 per week, as well as a rundown of all the trades that I take. So it's going to be a very, very low cost entry model. So it's only $10 per week USD, and it's charged monthly just because unfortunately that's the only frequency that I can do on the website that I'm currently using. So it will be $10 a week and you'll have access to all of my end of day markups, all of my outlooks for AUD USD during the Asian session and the New York session. You will also get the live Q&A session. And I have also included about 11 hours worth of content from the Millennial Wealth Group course, which is previous webinars we've completed with the team there, which you'll get instant access to once you join as well. So within here, I have actually just been filling this out this week so that there's stuff ready for you to go once you join. I will always do an Asian session outlook and a London session outlook. And I'll tell you as well where shorts are going to be valid from, where longs are going to be valid from, and where we could potentially be targeting. So there will be annotations on all of them. This one here is actually that exact setup that we just took. So I was also saying here, after the 15M range is set, shorts from the supply zone are going to be valid to the next demand, which is exactly what that trade turned out to be. And I'll show you in the end of day markup as well. So these will be here completed for you an hour before London Open and an hour before Asian Open so that you are ready to go. Again, here are the Asian session outlooks. You can go back to January just to see this whole week. Sorry, January the 6th, which is the beginning of this week. And then here are some end of day markups, again, already filled in there for you. So this here is actually that trade that you just saw the breakdown for. This was that first valid loss. And this here was the second entry that we took. And they're all going to be annotated for you so you know exactly what I was looking at the time and how you could have got involved as well. And then in here from this coming Monday, all of my trades will be posted within here as well. I will have my FX book linked as well, so you can go see all the statistics. And then all the previous webinars, of course, will be in here once we get them going. So if you do have any questions or you're ready to get started, the link will be in the description of this video. If you have any questions, DM me on Discord. So the Discord username here would just be Alchemist, and then it's hashtag 5930. If you just type that in and add me, we can have a discussion over Discord if you like. And so let's grow this group here. And then if you do need any additional sort of education or assistance throughout your time within the trading floor, we can then upgrade you to the actual Millennial Wealth Group course as well. So if you do have any questions, guys, let me know. Thank you for making it this far. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I would really, really appreciate it if you do. It really helps me out a lot. And like the video and leave a comment if you think that there was something worth commenting on. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, day, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll chat to you guys on the weekend.